I will so gladly answer this question. The color system of the stickies is like this. Green is for authoritative things. When I was in college and professors would point to specific passages, they would get green underlines. For example, Dr. King's speech, "Where do we go from here?" He says, "Why are there 40 million poor people in America?" And when you begin to ask that question, you are raising a question about the economic system, about a broader distribution of wealth. When you ask that question, you begin to question the capitalistic economy. Later he says, we must come to see that an edifice which produces beggars needs restructuring. Spoken with authority, green sticky. Turquoise stickies are things that are self-reflective. For instance, Raina Maria Rilke, Letters to a Young Poet, 1904 says, "Perhaps somewhere, someplace deep inside your being, you have undergone important changes while you were sad." I spoke briefly in one of my other videos about my experience with depression and the cycle and the medication and the therapists. And a passage like this makes me see that while that was painful, it's also a time that I grew and changed a lot. Blue sticky. Orange stickies are for examples, particularly compelling examples. Jennifer Eberhardt is an expert in unconscious bias. She explains on page 70, when the person killed by police was Black and unarmed, researchers found that Black respondents reported feeling more depressed and stressed up to 3 months after the incident occurred. In one of the previous videos, we talked about fetal birth weight and the discrepancies and how stress can affect it. Well, this is one example of that, so it gets an orange sticky. Though it might incidentally also get a blue sticky, because my experience, it makes me self-reflect on the fact that my experience of a police shooting is emotionally, physically, and chemically different from a Black person's experience. Purple stickies are things that I might actually make a TikTok about, though this has changed over the years because I've not been on TikTok forever. For instance, from Kimberly Jones and Jilly Siegel's book, I'm Not Dying With You Tonight, there is an example of a fictionalized version of the murder of Heather Heyer. A woman gets hit by a car. It's a different you. It's obviously not her, but experiencing it in the fictional environment gives people a different way to access that concept. And so I might make a video about that eventually. It gets a purple sticky. I'm running out of time, but pink stickies with often accompanying red underlines are just associated with raw excitement or enthusiasm or even surprise. So here's an example from Dr. Benjamin. I'm actually writing my own book about AI ethics. It's part of why I make these TikToks, but on page 60, Dr. Benjamin just explains the entirety of what is part 3 of my book in 2 pages. Blew my mind, pink sticky.